What's up, guys? It's me, CA Elite Double X Prince, and welcome to Double X Mania. And I got a fresh haircut for Double X Mania. That and I had to go to an audition. Anyways, let's continue with this series of Double X Mania. This time, I'm gonna be talking about the heroes of WrestleMania. 10 guys who have made a lot of impact in WrestleMania history. Now, um. There will be alphabetical order, so it's Bret the Hitman Hart. So from Bret the Hitman Hart to forward, you might guess who might be the other ones. Some are a little obvious, so yeah, you'll just see who I'll talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, Bret the Hitman Hart is more noticeable to be the guy of SummerSlam because he had multiple amazing matches at SummerSlam, but he definitely did a lot as in the year getting tough in WrestleMania. I mean, first of all, without WrestleMania 10, WrestleMania without Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10 wouldn't have been that good to begin with. He brought in the Attitude Era at Mania 13, which I'll get to talk about later. But overall, I think Bret Hart had a legit run to be considered one of the heroes of WrestleMania. I mean, think about it. It went from Hulk Hogan to Bret Hart, so that's a huge impressive. So because of that, we kick off like his debut at WrestleMania in a battle royal. He was the second to last one to be winning the Royal Rumble match, but sadly he did not win. Instead, Andre the Giant won the WWF and NFL Battle Royal. It wasn't that bad of a Battle Royal. I mean, it's okay, but did we really need it? Maybe not. So there's that. But then at WrestleMania 3, he teamed up with Danny Davis and Jim the Anvil Neidhart to take on the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. A really good six-man tag match. One of the more underrated ones. Honestly, WrestleMania 3, we remember it for Hogan and Andre, and of course, Macho Man, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Two of the best matches in WrestleMania history. But this was another one of those really good matches that people don't talk about a lot because WrestleMania 3 is one of the best WrestleManias of all time, and I really feel bad that these guys didn't get a lot of appreciation because they deserve it, because this was a really damn good six-man tag match. Old school wrestling, old school tag team. I like that kind of tag team style, honestly. Hart Foundations, if not the Rockers or Demolition, these guys would definitely be my favorite tag teams of like the 80s and 90s. But WrestleMania 4, he was in another battle royal again. But Brad News Brown wins. He wins the trophy. Bret Hart gets mad and smashes that trophy because fuck battle royals. That's why Bret the Hitman Hart. WrestleMania 5, he took on Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he teamed up with Jim the Anvil Neidhart once again to be part of the Hart Foundation. This is a damn good match again. Not the best one, but it's pretty enjoyable for what it was. Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine are very underrated wrestlers. I hate Greg the Hammer Valentine for what he said back in 2015, but besides that, this match was not that bad. And of course, Hart Foundation steal another victory is another good match from them. So yeah. And WrestleMania 6, he takes on Nikolai Volkov and the other dude, I forgot his name, but they're part of the Bolsheviks, I should say. But this match is super short. Again, Hart Foundation wins, but it was a damn short match. You know what? I feel bad. This match could have been good because WrestleMania 6, besides the main event, it was a one-match show at WrestleMania 6, but everything else needed to be at least passable at most. But at least WrestleMania 7, they have a legit tag team to fight. This time against the Nasty Boys, and they lose the match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. I love Hart Foundation. I'm not the biggest Nasty Boys fan, but I respect them for who they are, and it was a really good match. Again, Bret Hart is one of those wrestlers that could definitely carry a good match. Same with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, very underrated guy. But next match, Next show was WrestleMania 8. We're out of the tag team zone, and now Bret Hart goes on to fight the Intercontinental Championship, and this time he takes on Roddy Piper in a damn good match. I love this match. Honestly, people always ask, what is the most underrated WrestleMania match of all time? This one. Bret the Hitman Hart and Roddy Piper. These guys have killed it. They killed it at WrestleMania 8. Honestly, if Macho Man and Ric Flair did not happen, this would have easily been the match of the night. Holy shit, just talk about like the in-ring chemistry. This was a two babyface match and two respectable wrestlers going at it. It was a really good match, very fun, and people should go back and watch it just because of how good it really was. And Bret the Hitman Hart once again wins the match. It's a really good match. Go watch it. WrestleMania 9 now. You go from going on to compete for the WWE. Let me finish. So you go on from facing the Intercontinental Champion to main event to main eventing Mania as the WWF Champion. That's fucking impressive for Bret the Hitman Hart. And he takes on Yokozuna, and I'll admit, Bret Hart tried to make this an enjoyable match, but he couldn't. He has Yokozuna on the sharpshooter, but Mr. Fuji throws dust at him, causing him to lose. But sadly, this led to the bullshit finish with Hulk Hogan coming out and beating Yokozuna like that. It was fucking bullshit. I really hated that moment. Everybody hated that moment. People were booing the shit out of that moment. Hulk Hogan, he just needed one more match. 8 wasn't enough, so he decided 9 WrestleMania straight, I will be at the top. Holy shit, was that stupid. But at least he got redemption at WrestleMania 10 because he had 2 matches on this show. First one being with his brother Owen Hart. The feud there was phenomenal. Honestly, my favorite opener ever. Everybody's favorite opener probably. And this is one of the few matches that Bret Hart did not need to win because he put over his younger brother Owen Hart, a very deserving guy. Really great match. Honestly, a 5-star classic in my eyes. Everybody knows this is a 5-star classic. And it ended in a roll-up, in a really weird roll-up. So Bret Hart kind of has Owen Hart like this, and then Owen Hart reverses it to a roll-up, and Owen Hart wins. Which was good for the next match that they end up having later on that year. But I really love this match. The chemistry was great, obviously, because they're brothers. But I really love that part where Owen Hart has Bret Hart in the sharpshooter and Bret Hart reverses into his own sharpshooter. That is a great fucking moment. You can't give me that. But this wasn't the end of Bret Hart because he went on to main event this show. So he started the show and he ends the show. But this time, he ends the show as the WWF champion because he finally beat Yokozuna in a slightly better match. I know I'm saying it's better because Yokozuna lost instead of won, which I agree is awesome. But Bret Hart had that moment. This is the time where it's like it's time for the new generation era, which granted it wasn't that great because eventually we had the Attitude Era. But I really love that moment where everybody just holds Bret Hart up high. And then Owen Hart's just looking at him like, you know what? I beat you. I deserve to be the WWF champion, which led to their SummerSlam match, which is another fantastic match. It was a damn really good match. But that's SummerSlam. We're talking about WrestleMania. If I had to choose my favorite out of those 2 matches, I would choose the WrestleMania match because even though I love the steel cage match, I felt like it was more about them trying to get out. So, yeah. But at WrestleMania 11, what could do better at WrestleMania 11? Well, he takes on Bob Backlund in an I Quit match. Bob Backlund, Bret Hart, I Quit match? Yes, why not? Holy shit, was this boring as hell. It was so damn slow and sloppy. And then Bob Backlund didn't even say I quit. He just screamed, ah, ah. It was an annoying ass match. It was boring. It was stupid. And fuck's sakes, Bob Backlund didn't even say I quit. He just yelled, ah, ah. It was so stupid, and I just wish I never saw this match. And which is sad because, eventually they redeemed themselves at Survivor Series, but, how could a Bob Backlund Bret Hart match be bad? How? How the fuck could it be bad? But again, WrestleMania 12, you know what? They fucked up again. It's time to main event WrestleMania once again as the WWF champion. And who does he take on? The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Now, this match, we all kind of knew Bret Hart was not going to win. because it was time for Shawn Michaels to have his moment despite his big ass ego that happened in '97. But this match was mainly remembered for being a Shawn Michaels match. But you guys gotta also remember that this is a Bret Hart match. Easily a really good match. I know a lot of people hate this match. I know Diesel 101 hates it. I know Wrestling Crisis hates it. Lundrick loves the match, I believe. I forgot what Mr. Beetle 890 said about the match. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about the match, so it's time for me to say the match. I think it's a really good match. I think I like the story of the match more than the actual match itself. There's times where that happens. You know, the whole story of no one gets a pinfall so then they have to go overtime. You know, I'm not a big fan of that, but it worked for this match. But it was still a good match. It was kind of slow, I'll say that, but it's kind of hard to carry a match for an entire hour. So it's kind of like not the wrestler's fault, but it was kind of boring for the most part. It's still a good match. I'll still enjoy it. It's not a 5-star, but it's a 5-star if you love Shawn Michaels and this was like the moment for you. You can say that the boyhood dream has come true. Best thing to like ever happen. But one thing for sure is WrestleMania 13. You cannot say this is not a 5-star classic. Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a submission match with Ken Shamrock as the special guest referee. You cannot say this is not a 5-star classic. First of all, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart. You expect this to be like a grabbing submission hold. This was a fucking brawl. This took matches to a different level. And this wasn't even going to be the original match. This is going to be Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart. And Bret Hart was supposed to win the match. But Shawn Michaels, being the bitch that he was, he did not want to put over Bret Hart. But it didn't matter because we got this match. The match that defined the Attitude Era. Holy shit. This is Bret Hart's best match. Best performance, best win, best match he's ever had. Honestly, this is one of my favorite matches of all time. It's up there. Top 5, top 10 for sure. But holy shit was this match really good. I mean, this is what defined the Attitude. And honestly, this match deserved to go last. I don't give a shit if Undertaker, my favorite wrestler of all time, beat Psycho Sid to finally become WWF champion. I don't care because this moment was fucking great. And honestly, at the time, this was Bret Hart's final match. And it could have been a great ending to his career, you know, but then again, the whole Montreal Screwjob is like, you know what, Bret Hart needs to come back. So, you know, if Bret Hart were to come back, he would have to fight Vince McMahon or Shawn Michaels. But, you know, due to the stroke, we never got to that. And we could have gotten a much better match at Mania 26. WrestleMania 26, I was there. And seeing the moment with Bret Hart finally standing up to Vince McMahon was great, but the match itself was not that great. It should have been shorter. I still give it a no rating, but it was just, I don't know, I just kind of wish they just shortened it, and the whole lumberjack thing was stupid, but the whole idea of Bret Hart finally standing up to Vince McMahon was great. So, yeah, Bret Hart, he had a total of 14 matches, a record of 8-6. He won 8, lost 6. And he's had some really good matches. His best match, his match against Stone Cold Steve Austin, the submission match, by far his best one. His worst match, I would have to say the Bob Backlund I Quit match. It was just so stupid and so disappointing. So I would have to say that was his worst match. Both matches he won, which is shocking. So yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart definitely deserves to be a hero of WrestleMania. Next guy I'll be talking about was a guy that considers himself to be rated R. Teased ya, so good. Stay tuned for that. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Continuing the heroes of WrestleMania, and until then, I'm out.